Good afternoon and welcome to the live audio commentary of Nottingham Forest against Brentford in the Premier League. Game 9 of 10 in this Premier League match week 7 of 38 this season. We've already seen a dramatic Premier League weekend so far, a big set of games yesterday. 8 games yesterday in the Premier League. So started off at Villa Park with Aston Villa beating Brighton by 6-1. Brighton's biggest defeat in over 20 years. Arsenal went to Bournemouth on the south coast and got a convincing victory, 4-0 for the Gunners on the road. Everton again beaten at home, their 4th straight defeat at home this season, and Luton their first ever Premier League win at Goodison Park. Crystal Palace were victorious against Manchester United at Old Trafford. Newcastle and West Ham both got 2-0 home wins, and Wolves beating the champions, the first team in the league this season to take points off Manchester City at Molineux, and the controversy that kicked off at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium yesterday evening as Tottenham eventually beat 9-man Liverpool by 2-1. Well, this afternoon, Nottingham Forest against Brentford from the City Ground, and we will finish with a West London derby tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Fulham against Chelsea. Let's get to the teams then from the City Ground, and for Steve Cooper's side, Matt Turner starts in goal. Serge Aurier, the captain, starts at right back. Alongside him is Willy Bolly, Moussa Niakate and Murillo in the back four. Ibrahim Sangare and Orel Mangala in midfield, with Nicholas Dominguez, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Anthony Alanga and Taiwo Awoniyi in the front four. On the bench, Flacademos, Montiel, Toffolo, Worrell, Kouyaté, Santos, Wood, Origi and Morgan Gibbs-White. For Thomas Frank's Brentford are looking to come back after 2 straight defeats at Everton last weekend in the Premier League and Arsenal in the Cup. Mark Flecken starts in goal, Christoph Ayer, Nathan Collins, Ethan Pinnock and Aaron Hickey in a back four, Christian Norgard, Matthias Jensen and Vitaly Janelt in midfield, and a front three of Brian Mbeumo, Keane Lewis Potter and Johan Visa. On the bench for Brentford, Strakoschka, Zanka, Brielli, Yarmuluk, Onyeka, Rushlev, Mopé, Godos and Oleakbe. So Nottingham Forest against Brentford in the Premier League on this Premier League Sunday. The only Premier League game of the day. It kicks off in just a moment. A very good afternoon to you. Welcome to LFS on this Premier League Sunday. We're going to have a moment's silence prior to kick-off this afternoon at the City Ground. A moment's silence, incredibly and impeccably respected and observed by the supporters inside this beautiful stadium in the Premier League. Well, Nottingham Forest are in a good position considering where they were last season in their return to the top flight. They play a side where they haven't beaten them in the top flight since their return. Of course, Brentford went a lot longer out of the top flight than Forest did. Forest above Brentford coming into this one. We'll talk about all the stats and the details of that right the way through the game. Plus, we'll keep you up to date with all the scores from around the games. WSL is back this afternoon, a few 2 o'clock kickoffs there, and also some details from around the European games. Forest in their traditional red and white, and Brentford in their away strip of black detailing with the teal shorts. We are underway at the City Ground for this huge football match of these two teams looking to get a win on the board. Forest with 2 wins from their first 6. Brentford with just the 1 from their first 6. They'll be looking to improve that this afternoon. Matt Turner under instant pressure. Niakate has to clear it long, and that will go out for a Brentford throw early in the game. Nicely picked up in the middle. And that through ball is all the way through, and we'll just run for a goal kick to Forest. It was Christian Norgard that made that run. The referee this afternoon is Paul Tierney, and the VAR is Michael Oliver. Of course, we had a lot of VAR drama yesterday, especially at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but we'll not get into that this afternoon, unless you want to, but I probably I would prefer to stay away from it, but who knows. We'll see what happens here. That's a nice run by Anthony Alanga, who's pulled back there. And that's a first booking of the afternoon. It's a free kick to Forest. The ball from the back, it's flicked on by Awaniyi, and Anthony Alanga just makes the run off Aaron Hickey, gets past him. Hickey makes the header in behind his defenders, and Alanga tries to run towards it. He pulls him back, Hickey, and it's a free kick to Forest and a yellow card for the Scottish international. It's 4th yellow card of the season. 1 more and he will get a game ban. Remember, still very early in the season. Only in match week 7 of the season. Already 4 yellow cards for Aaron Hickey. So free kick for Forest then on the right flank. Whipped in right-footed. Headed away by Hickey and then cleared away by Jensen. And out for the throw into Forest on the far side. It's a delivery from Callum Hudson-Odoi. Was well defended by Brentford in the end. Keep up to date with anything that is happening around, especially the WSL this afternoon, returning for the new season after the World Cup in the summer. Forest have a throw in on the left hand side. It's a long one into the box. It's cleared away again by Forest or by Brentford, and they'll get the free kick for a foul in there. So that will be a free kick to Brentford. Let's just have a look at the Super League results. The Women's Super League. Aston Villa 0, Manchester United 0. That kicked off at 12:30 this afternoon, but Villa down to 10 after a red card has been brandished there. Everton 2-0 down at home against Brighton this afternoon. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff. Brighton 2-0 to the good there. Then 2 o'clock kickoffs. Arsenal against Liverpool and Bristol City against Leicester City. All in the Women's Super League. We'll keep you up to date with anything that happens in those 4 games this afternoon. And anything that happens elsewhere in Europe. Nothing else to tell you about. Here's Aurier. Mangala. Now Alanga. Heavy touch by Anthony Alanga. And the last touch is off a Brentford player in Johan Visses, so that will be a Forest throw in on the right hand side. 3.5 minutes gone. 0-0 here at the City Grounds. Clearance from Aurier. It's bounced behind the defence of Brentford, and luckily Ethan Pinnock is there to get it back to his keeper, but Tao Awoniyi was really putting pressure on the Brentford defence there, and it almost worked out for the number 9 of Forest. And that time Brentford got away with one. There has been a goal at Villa Park where Aston Villa are hosting Manchester United in the opening day of the WSL, and just after going down to 10 with Kirsty Hansen getting a red card, Rachel Daly, who was a absolute incredible footballer for Aston Villa last season, massive impact for the football club, and she has put Aston Villa ahead with 14 minutes to go. Manchester United trail 1-0 against 10 of Aston Villa at Villa Park. Interesting. Right, back here at the City Ground. Murillo gives it away. Picked up by Norgard. Tries to feed Jensen, but the pass from Christian Norgard, there's too much pace on it. Jensen tried to take control of it at the byline, but the power on the ball just evaded Matthias Jensen, and that will go for a goal kick to Forest. Well, we talk about Murillo, who gave the ball away initially there for Forest, only joined the club in the summer on the 31st of August. A £10.4 million transfer fee from Corinthians to Nottingham Forest, of course. 21 years of age, the Brazilian international. Murillo, that's well won back by Aurier. Alanga, back to Mangala, who goes back to Niakate. Here is Niakate, has to go back to Matt Turner. Fires it long, Turner. That's good heading by Pinnock, but brought down nicely in the middle by Forest. Alanga to Aurier. Now Mangala. Better from Forest. Here's Murillo. Now feeds it into the middle to find Nicolas Dominguez. It's good possession from Forest. Taking their time. Patience is key. And Serge Aurier goes back to his goalkeeper. Turner with the long ball out. That one is straight out of play. And Brentford will get the throw in. It's not the best of passes from Matt Turner. Can do much better than that in terms of his distribution. It's Ayer. Gets it to Jensen. Lovely link up with Mbermo is Norgard. Norgard on the right flank. Has to go backwards. Brentford keep the possession. Here's Ayer. Now Norgard. Christian Norgard with a cross right into the Forest box and straight into the hands of Matt Turner, who throws it out to a free Anthony Alanga. Alanga on the right hand side here, trying to get past the Brentford defenders into the boxes. Alanga tries to cross it, does take a deflection, and that will be a Forest corner. That's really, really good play from Anthony Alanga down the right hand side. Turner spotted the space that Alanga had run into. Miles of space. Nowhere near Aaron Hickey. Hickey's just running back. Alanga just drives down the right hand side, gets to the byline and gets a deflection for the corner, of which Callum Hudson-Odoi will take on the right hand side for Forest. First corner of the game for them. Hudson-Odoi, right footed, whips it in, headed on, and it's in! But the flag is up. It's headed on, and there was a player, I think, tapped it in, but I think it was Taiwo Awoniyi. I think he was offside. And see this again. It's Callum Hudson-Odoi, right-footed. It's headed on. It looks like Awoniyi is offside when it meets the head of the Forest player. I couldn't see who the Forest player it is that headed it on. We're checking to see if he's onside. Of course, we had trouble with that yesterday. The VAR checking offsides. Well, Paul Tierney and Michael Oliver doing the due diligence to make sure that he is onside. And they will see. So Forest had the ball in the net with Taiwo Awoniyi, and now we wait VAR's decision. And the decision, the lines have come out. It looks miles offside. We will see. The decision is no goal, so it is offside. So the check is complete there. They just to make sure. But yes, Taiwo Awoniyi was offside, so 0-0 it remains. At least they got the correct decision this time when they did a VAR check for an offside. You can tell I'm salty, can't you? Clearance from Ayer. Straight into, back to Murillo. Now Sangare. That's a lovely ball. Sangare in the middle. Finds Alanga. Alanga makes the run up against Hickey. Alanga keeps it in play. Whips it back to Aurier, who whips a ball in, and it's a bit deep. Ayer will clear. Better from Forest. They've got the pace on the flanks, especially with Anthony Alanga at this moment in time. Seems to be a real threat down that right hand side, especially now with Aaron Hickey on a yellow card. Surely going to target that more, Forest. Murillo. It's a poor ball. Cleared away by Brentford, and Forest will get it back. Murillo will pick it up again. Another goal at Villa Park, and it's Manchester United that have levelled it against Aston Villa, who only have 10 players on the pitch after Kirsty Hansen's dismissal. And it's Lucia Garcia with the goal to put Manchester United back level 1-1 in the WSL. Bolly has to go back to Turner for Forest. Matt Turner. Mangala. Murillo has to go back to his keeper. Matt Turner again. That's a nice ball to find Mangala. Nice Sangare. Can he find the space? Finds the ball out to the left for Niakate. Now Dominguez. Hudson-Odoi. Lovely footwork. The crossfield ball from Hudson-Odoi is cut out. That'll be a Forest throw on the right hand side. It's better from Forest. Look to be comfortable on the ball at the moment. You know, a common theme with Forest in games recently and since they've come back to the Premier League is the amount of turnovers in possession that they've had when they're trying to go forward, the turnovers in possession. But so far they've been able to hold the ball and make nice passes. That's a nice ball by Alanga. Lovely from Sangare. Out to Hudson-Odoi on the left hand side. Hudson-Odoi cuts it back. Onto it was Niakate with a cross, but too much on that one for Niakate. Hickey against Alanga here, and Hickey sees it out for a Brentford throw. It's a good battle, that. Alanga and Hickey. Something to keep an eye on, especially, as I said, with Hickey on that yellow card. Well, these two. A draw isn't uncommon between these two sides in recent years, with 2 of their last 3 meetings ending in draws. And Forest, this fixture last season at the City Ground ended in a 2-2 draw. An exciting game that was that day, and a Zanka own goal gave Forest the point that day in the 96th minute. Own goal from Zanka for Brentford to give Forest that second goal to get them a 2-2 draw. Hoping for some late drama here this afternoon. We'll be hoping for any sort of drama. Never mind late drama. Forest have a free kick then on the right hand side. Serge Aurier to take. Just inside the Brentford half. Serge Aurier, body's in there for Forest. He fizzed it across. Awonyi with the first header. Bouncing around. Hudson-Odoi tries to keep it alive. Brentford clear their lines. All the way back to Aurier. Now across to Mangala. Nicely played there to Niakate. Dominguez. Now to Mangala again. Bolly. Aurier. Back to Bolly. Mangala has to go back to Willy Bolly. Brentford closing the spaces, making it more difficult, but Willy Bolly tries to go for the long ball over the top. Awonyi makes a run, but Mark Flecken quickly out of his goal to come and catch that inside his own 18-yard box. Allow Brentford on the ball for the first time. Well, they've given it away again. Brentford too easily beaten in those duels. Alanga. Now Mangala. Anthony Alanga has to go back to Oral Mangala. Forest passing the ball around the defence, waiting for that opening, waiting for that correct move, that right pass to show itself. All the way back to Matt Turner, who goes long, trying to find Awonyi. That's well covered by Ayer. Aurier wins it back. Then Norgard tries to play a ball right through. Well won by Murillo. Now Mangala. Alanga. Nice quick footwork. Aurier keeps the possession. Battling there with Jan Elton, and Jan Elton does well to get it back to his defenders and back to Mark Flecken. That was better from Brentford, but Forest still look the better of the two teams, more comfortable on the ball. Better at winning those duels. Forest, better physical side. That's poor from Brentford again. It's a poor pass. Straight out of play for a throw into Forest. It'll be interesting to see what comes of these two teams this season. Of course, Brentford having arguably overperformed in their already their two previous seasons in the Premier League, in very good positions, pushing for Europe on both occasions. In the end, not getting that under Thomas Frank. A very, very good first two seasons back. And Forest, of course, last season stayed in the division with their home form. They're looking to go up to the next step with Steve Cooper. Already they have 7 points this season. It took them 14 games to get to 10 points last season. If they win this afternoon, they can do it in 7, which is a major improvement for Forest. And that's exactly what Steve Cooper will be hoping for. They've looked the better of the two so far. Awonye, Hudson-Odoi, Niakate, Dominguez. Quick football from Forest. Aurier, Nyalanga. Trying to link it up, does so with Sangare now. Aurier, Dominguez, out to Sangare. Sangare with a cross, cleared away. Dominguez wins it back for Forest. Aurier, Dominguez. Good pressure from Brentford, but again, Forest is comfortable. Murillo. Willy Bolly. And Mangala again. Forest comfortable on the ball. Know what they need to be doing. Making those passes. Scotty Brooks says, hello, I hope all is well with everyone. Thank you very much indeed, Scotty. Hope all is well with you. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Here's Alanga. Willy Bolly. Has to go back to Matt Turner again. Not rushing things, Forest. They knew what needs to be done. Heavy touch by Tawo Awonye there. Allowed Brentford to recover. And Mark Flecken on the ball for Brentford. Here's Ethan Pinnock. Pinnock has the ball. Gives it out wide to Keane Lewis Potter, who's come very deep. Keane Lewis Potter to try and win the ball. It's a lovely switch ball to find Mbermo. Now Norgard back to Ayer. Ayer switches it across the defence, but that one is just about kept in by Lewis Potter. Thought it was going to go out of play there. He kept it in. Aaron Hickey. Janelt. I will see what Brentford can do on the ball here. Haven't had much of the possession to try and burst forward or get in good possession, and again they try a ball out to the wide areas, straight out of play. And one man who's really struggled to get into the game with Brentford lacking that possession so far is Brian Mbermo, a real superstar for Brentford. When he can get on the ball and run at defences, can cause a lot of issues to even the best defenders in the league, but hasn't had enough of the ball to really cause any problems for Forest early on. 19 minutes gone, 0-0 here at the City Ground. Two sides that are still in single figures of goals this season. It's Forest 7 goals, Brentford 9. Both have conceded 9 in their first 6 games. Here's Vitaly Janelt for Brentford. Back to Ethan Pinnock. Pinnock. Out to the left is Keane Lewis Potter. Back to Pinnock again. Norgard. Collins. Out to the right is Ayer. Ayer makes the run down the right hand side, and that's good recovery from Forest. Niakate there, coming out and winning the challenge, but Brentford win the throw in. Ayer takes it quickly. Collins. Has to go back across to Pinnock. 20 minutes gone. Brentford starting to get a bit more of the ball now. A bit more possession. Hickey. Now Lewis Potter. And that's well cut out by Mangala. And Sangari recycles the ball. Here's Willy Bolly. Elanga. Sangare. Lovely quick feet by Ibrahim Sangare. Fantastic. Now Murillo. Niakate. And now Hudson-Odoi for Forest. Breaks down the left-hand side. Nice quick movement again. Mangala. Aurier. Now out to Elanga on the right flank. Elanga coming in field as well. Goes back across. There's a real confidence about Forest at the moment. Seems to be helping them out. Winning those duels, winning those balls. Really, really look like they have the energy to take on this Brentford team this afternoon. Aurier has to go back to Matt Turner, not taking any unnecessary risks. Well, they've dominated the possession early on. Forest, 61% of the ball. Compared to Brentford's 39%. Brentford haven't had an attempt. Forest only had the one attempt, but it was off target. Lacking attacking display from either team yet, but nonetheless, it is of course a long way to go. But promising from Forest in possession. Just got a shot of the fourth official there. Craig Pawson, of course, was meant to be Darren England, the fourth official here this afternoon at the City Ground, but of course with that controversy in the VAR booth yesterday with Darren England, the VAR for Tottenham Liverpool, he has been relieved of his duties for this weekend, the rest of this weekend actually, after those clear and obvious errors yesterday. They love to say that, the PGMOL. Llewell one back, here's Elanga, does well there. Does Vitaly Janel to block that run from Elanga, and that will be a Forest throw-in on the right-hand side. Turnaround at Villa Park from leading 1-0 with 10 to now 2-1 down. Villa. Rachel Williams with the 92nd minute of the 8 has put Manchester United ahead. 2-1 there for Mark Skinner's side away at Aston Villa. That's lovely by Forest. Awonyi. Now Elanga. Anthony Elanga tried to find the bottom corner, the near corner, but just wide of the post from Anthony Elanga. It's really well won back. Nice spin of the ball from Hudson-Odoi. Then finds it to Awonyi. Awonyi plays it across to Elanga. Elanga makes the run into the box and tries to take the shot past Aaron Hickey. He just gets away from it the last second and he drags it wide at the right post, but much better from Forest. That quick movement, that quick interchange of play from those front three. It's really impressive. Just starting to up the level a bit there, Forest, as we could see. Still nothing interesting to tell you about anywhere else. Still 0-0 between Arsenal and Liverpool, and Bristol City Leicester as well as goalless, and Everton still trail 2-0 to Brighton, all in the WSL this afternoon as the WSL returns for the brand new season. It's well worked by Aaron Hickey. Forest have the throw in. Thomas Frank's trying to shout some instructions to his team. He's got that big notepad out, making notes. Side have really not woken up into this game yet. They had a small spell of possession, but other than that, it's been all Forest really early in this first half. Hoping to see a bit more of his side, Thomas Frank, before the half-time whistle. Here's Ethan Pinnock then. Here's the chance for Brentford. Hickey. Hickey makes a nice run, tries to feed a lovely ball through, and keenly does Lewis Potter. Almost made the run through, but Murillo had it covered. It's better from Brentford. They find the ball wide to Hickey. Hickey just comes inside, makes a lovely ball behind the defence. In behind, Willie Bolly. And Murillo has to cover across as Keane Lewis Potter is one-on-one with the keeper, and it's a lovely challenge by Murillo. And puts it out for the Brentford corner, but that's much brighter from Brentford. Much more like what we see of them usually from a Thomas Frank side. So corner left hand side for Brentford. Right footed delivery, whipped in, headed on, headed clear. Again cleared away, 3 successive headers there. It's out of the 18-yard box of Forest for the moment. Sangare, now cleared away by Dominguez. Hickey loses his bearings, and now Hudson-Odoi lays it off for Awoniyi. Awoniyi makes the run. Taiwo Awoniyi in the box here. So many Brentford players get back. Shot from distance from Sangare is easily blocked. Mangala will pick it up again though for Forest. Murillo. Mangala. Better from Brentford getting those players back into positions. That's a lovely ball by Sangare. Made the run with Serge Aurier, but the ball just escaped him at the last second. Really, really good idea from Ibrahim Sangare. Spotted the run of Serge Aurier. It was just onside, it looked. And Aurier tried to chest the ball down. It just escaped him at the last second. And luckily for Mark Flecken, he didn't have to make a save. Brentford get away with another one, but that's a lovely, lovely idea from Ibrahim Sangare initially. Here's Christian Norgard for Brentford. Janelt now to Vissa. Back to Janelt. It's another player that hasn't had much of the ball so far, Johan Vissa. Nathan Collins. Now to Christoph Ayer. Back to Nathan Collins again. Pinnock. In a bit of space here, Pinnock. Goes across to Janelt. Now the switch ball from Janelt. Brought down by Jensen, and now Mbermo. Back infield to Norgard. Has to go back again. Janelt. Closed off there by Sangare, but moved away around, and Mbermo's ball is straight out of play. And Murillo, clearing his lines, puts the ball out for a Brentford throw-in. Bit of miscommunication there from Forest at the back. A bit better from Brentford. Pinnock. Now Hickey. Back in field to Vitaly Janelt. Now Ayer. Norgard. Back to Collins. Pushed back a bit there, Brentford, but Nathan Collins has the ball. Gives it to Mbermo, now out wide to Jensen. Infield to Norgard. Back to Ayer again. Good work from Forest defensively to close down those spaces. We have a goal between Everton and Brighton. We'll get there in a moment. Brentford calm on the ball. Ethan Pinnock. It's much better. Forest maybe just taking a breather from their pretty electric start to the game with their domination of the ball and the possession, which they're not used to here for Nottingham Forest. Usually what we see of Steve Cooper's sides is waiting for those counter-attacking opportunities in games, letting the opposition have more of the ball and waiting for the counter-attack. But Brentford in the first 20-30 minutes have been so poor on the ball that Forest have unintentionally had more of the possession. Now down the right hand side is Mbermo for Brentford. They're calmly passing the ball around, waiting for the opening, and that's a poor challenge by Niakate, and he will get booked here. It was Mbermo with a heavy touch. Niakate kind of slid in. See the possession again. Mbermo tries to play a ball off. Niakate tries to break up the loose ball that was going to Matthias Jensen. Jensen doesn't touch the ball either, but Niakate just takes out the Brentford player. It's a poor challenge by Moussa Niakate, and he gets his first yellow card of the season. And Brentford will have a free kick on the right hand side. 30 minutes gone, 0-0, and Brentford have a set piece on the far right flank. too far away from the edge of the 18-yard box. Brentford joint second most goals from set pieces since the start of last season. Only Liverpool have scored more from set pieces with 22. Brentford have 19 since the start of last season. Can they make it 20 from this one? And Burma with the delivery, and Murillo had to see it over, as I think that was Nathan Collins was waiting there for the header. So really good delivery by Brian and Burmo, left-footed right into the box, and Murillo had it covered the whole way through, and it was Nathan Collins that was waiting to head it into the Forest net, but good clearance by Murillo. Brentford corner then, right hand side. The referee just halting play for a moment. Bit of pushing and shoving in the box he has to sort out. There the referee, Paul Tierney. And the whistle goes again. Time for Brentford to take this corner then. Burmo to take it again, left-footed, a bit lower this time, flicked on by Ayer and stripped behind for a goal kick. Not the most exciting of corners. It's not the best one from Brian and Burmo. He's got real talent at delivering from set pieces, but that corner was certainly not one of his best. Certainly won't be in the highlights reel, I can tell you that much. 31.5 minutes gone then, 0-0. Goal, as I mentioned, at between Everton and Brighton in the WSL. Now, Elizabeth Turland had scored 2 goals for Brighton to give them a 2-goal lead going into half-time. The second half, Everton have come out much the better side, and Megan Finnegan, inside the 65 minutes, has got one back for Everton. We're around about 6 minutes on from that, and it is still Everton 1, Brighton 2, but still game on. A very close game there between those two teams. Still 0-0 between Arsenal and Liverpool, and Bristol City, Leicester City. And both of those games only in the first half. Throw in Brentford on the right hand side. And we'll go for the long one, it seems. They're eyeing up for that one. Matthias Jensen, pretty good at long throws. He will have the chance to deliver one here. Delivery from Jensen, straight it to the byline, headed away, and Bomo keeps it alive. Flicked on in the box, but Forrest clear the lines, and the last clearance from Hudson-Odoi there. Back into the Brentford half, that goes. It's a lovely ball out from the back. Matthias Jensen tries to fizz one across. Well defended by Forrest again, who have the ball here just about with Callum Hudson-Odoi, who does nicely to keep the ball. That's really good from Forrest. Mangala. Here's Aurier. Back in field to Oral Mangala. Back to Murillo. Murillo through to Dominguez. Now Hudson-Odoi up against Ayer. Callum Hudson-Odoi couldn't get past Christoph Ayer. It's really good defending by the Brentford right back. It's a nice feinted ball to find Jensen from Mbermo, but again, that's recovered really, really well by Mangala. Here's Niakate. Back to Dominguez, and nice Sangare. Sangare in the middle trying to find Awonyi. Well covered over. Sangare wins it back, linking up with Awonyi. Dominguez with a cross, looking for Alanga, but Aaron Hickey has that one covered and heads back into the arms of Mark Flecken, the Brentford goalkeeper. We have a goal in the 2 o'clock game, one of the 2 o'clock games from the Women's Super League, and Bristol City have taken the lead against Leicester City. Leicester had a spell of possession, but with Bristol City's first shot on target, they have the first goal of the afternoon. Bristol City 1, Leicester City 0. Ibrahim Sangare then for Forest. Looked a real bright spark for them in the midfield. Sangare. Here's Aurier. Has the captain's armband today for Nottingham Forest, does Serge Aurier. Has Premier League experience, of course. Played for Tottenham before joining Nottingham Forest. Here's Dominguez. Trying to find Hudson-Odoi, but that's well cut out by Ayer. And then Dominguez trying to recover, puts it out for a Brentford throw-in. Don't forget, that's not the end of our action this afternoon. We've a triple header of NFL action for you. this afternoon at 6 o'clock this evening. Gold Zone, the debut of Gold Zone. All the 6 o'clock games, 9 of them in fact, with our key game, the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. That's tonight at 6 o'clock here on LFS. Here's Ethan Pinnock for Brentford. 35 minutes gone, 0-0 here at the City Ground. Forest have been the better side, but yet haven't seen a shot on target yet from either team in this one. That shows what we're missing, really. Attacking quality at the moment. Here's Nathan Collins. Ayer, now Norgard. Quick football. Here's Mbomo on the right flank. Brian Mbomo. Fantastic covering from Niakate, and then the foul on, I think it's Dominguez there that's challenged, and that will be a free kick to Forest inside their own half. It was better from Brentford in the build-up, but Forest again had the defensive cover and won their 50-50 pretty well. And they've sacrificed possession quite unnecessarily there. Pinnock, Janelt. Now Collins back to Ethan Pinnock. Brentford back in the possession here. Collins. Here's Ethan Pinnock. Has time to try and carry the ball forward and find the spaces. Here's Keane Lewis Potter. Nice touch past Alanga. Lewis Potter lays it off for Hickey. Hickey back to Lewis Potter in the box, trying to get past Alanga, but Alanga followed him all the way back and took over, and they will get the corner, Brentford. Much better. Good link up between Hickey and Keane Lewis Potter there. Know what they need to be doing. Keane Lewis Potter, of course, only coming in due to recent injuries. 22 years of age is Keane Lewis Potter. Joined from Hull City last summer for over £16 million. He joined Brentford last summer and gets his opportunities in the last few games. Corner Brentford then. Right footed delivery right into the box, headed away by Forest again. Seem to have Brentford's number when it comes to set pieces so far in this game. Dominguez with a headed clearance from that long ball from Flecken. Calls of handball on Keane Lewis Potter, but he keeps the possession. Nothing doing from the referee's point of view. Here's Nathan Collins. Out to Keane Lewis Potter. Back to Hickey. Nice quick feet from Hickey to evade the challenge of Alanga. Now Collins. Norgard. Down the right hand side goes Ayer, but well defended, but the loose ball's picked up by Johan Visse. Janelt. Mbomo. Norgard. Has to go backwards again. Nowhere to go in terms of up the pitch, but here's Pinnock. Now finds Keane Lewis Potter on the left hand side. Comes in field, a bit of a deflection. Cleared away by Forest again. Jensen. Brentford building up a head of steam here at the moment. Lewis Potter able to maintain that possession inside the Forest half, which they haven't done so for quite a vast majority of this first half. Just looking at the stats, 3 shots for Forest, 1 for Brentford. Both teams have no shots on target. Both only have 7 touches in the opposition box and 50-50 possession so far, considering the fact that Forest dominated the vast majority of the first 20 minutes. It looks to have evened out, with Brentford picking up the ball a lot more in the last 20. Jensen with a long throw, bouncing in the box, and Bomo tries to keep it alive, but headed clear by Hudson-Odoi. Lewis Potter is back there to help out Brentford. Janelt. Nice flick to find Keane Lewis Potter on the right. Whips across in. Again cleared by Forest. Mbomo wins it back. Better from Brentford. Another ball in, and Pinnock is looking to head it on, but well covered by Matt Turner, who got the catch on the ball. Sangare for Forest then. Can they get their game back going here? Alanga. Oh, lovely quick feet from Anthony Alanga. Sangare with a quick switch ball. Out to the left-hand side. Here's Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi with the delivery. Collins with the clearance. Kept alive by Dominguez. He does get there. Keeps the possession. Hudson-Odoi. Niakate. Dominguez to Mangala. Game seems to be upping the tempo. Here's Niakate. Mixed the run. Hudson-Odoi with a cross. Cleared away by Keane Lewis Potter there in the 18-yard box of Brentford. Oh, not the best of clearances there from Matt Turner. Bouncing ball. Bolly, difficult one for him to deal with. Aurier does well. A nice Sangari. Better from Forrest again. Dominguez. 4 minutes plus additional time to go in the first half. Still, the deadlock remains here at the City Ground. 0-0. Forrest did have the ball in the net, but early on, but Taiwo Wonyi was in an offside position, so that was disallowed. That's probably the best attacking action we've had in the first half. Murillo. Now Mangala, back to Murillo. Bolly on the right hand side here, Willy Bolly. Nice touch by Sangari. Now Mangala. Niakate. Hudson-Odoi. Back to Niakate again. Alanga linking up with Sangari. Alanga playing in midfield at the moment. Niakate. Now Alanga again. Gives the ball away straight to Vitaly Janelt. Norgard fires a long ball, but too much for Johan Vissa to chase. And Matt Turner will pick it up again for Forest. Let's see what Thomas Frank will have to say about his team at half time. He has seen a bit more from them. We have seen a bit more of Brentford in this half in the last 15 minutes, but still Forest look the more threatening of the two teams when they get on the ball. That's a poor challenge by Christoph Ayer on Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Hudson-Odoi will win Forrest the free kick there. He just made the infield run, did Hudson-Odoi, and Ayer tries to lunge for the ball. Hudson-Odoi kept the possession, and it's a late lunge by Christoph Ayer, and that will be a free kick to Forest. A decent area for them as well to whip a ball in, get a delivery into the box. They've got the height as well in there. Very tall side, Nottingham Forest. The likes of a Willy Bolly, a Taiwo Wonyi, Aurier, Sangare, Murillo as well has got a bit of height to him. They're all clustered inside that, just the edge of the D at the moment, all those Forest players. Hudson-Odoi will of course take the free kick. Hudson-Odoi lifts it into the box. It's just over the head of Serge Aurier, who makes the gesture to show how close it was. Just over his head and behind for the goal kick, but ever so slightly above the head of Serge Aurier there. That free kick, and it ends up a goal kick to Brentford. And the game between Aston Villa and Manchester United is over, by the way. Of course, that finished quite a bit ago, about 15 minutes ago. Manchester United getting that victory on match day 1 away at Aston Villa. Everton still behind to Brighton with around 5 minutes to go on that one. Everton 1, Brighton 2. Still 0-0 between Arsenal and Liverpool, and Bristol City leading Leicester by 1-0 at the moment. Last minute of the 45 here at the City Ground in this first half. That's good defending by Forest again. Brentford have a throw in on the right hand side. Throw in finds his way to Ethan Pinnock. Now Nathan Collins. That's it. Not the best from Nathan Collins, that ball. Does find its way to Pinnock. A bit of help from his midfield as well. Has to go back to Mark Flecken. A bit of an issue there for Murillo for Forest. He looks to be walking a bit gingerly at the moment. Not the most comfortable. We'll see what happens there, whether he will be able to continue till half time. We've just hit the 45 minutes, so we'll see how much will be added on. And there will be 2 additional minutes at the end of the half, which is quite minuscule compared to what we've seen already this season. Here's Keane Lewis-Potter down the left-hand side. Aurier tries to put a challenge in and does make the challenge and puts it out for a throw-in. Looks to be a real bright spark. Look, Keane Lewis-Potter looks to have the pace to take it to that Forest defence. They've actually been given a free kick here, actually, Brentford. I think. Yeah, they have. They've been given a free kick. I thought it was a throw-in, but the free kick was given before the ball went out of play, so Brian and Burma will have a free kick to take here then. Plays it straight across. Jensen, nice football. Janelt with the ball in. Takes a deflection straight at, bouncing around and all the way through. I think it's a corner. Bit of a scramble in the 18-yard box there, in the 6-yard box actually. As a delivery, it's just straight across. Jensen finds the ball in. Janelt cuts it back. It takes a slight deflection, forces a save of Matt Turner, and it's bouncing around. It's kept in play by Brentford. I think it's Christian Norgard that takes the strike. It is, takes the strike. It takes a deflection off a Forest player and ends up wide for the corner, but bit of a scramble there. Forest just get away with one. So corner for Brentford to take. On the right hand side, and Burma with delivery. Cleared away by Murillo. Janelt battling, and there's still away. Brentford appealing for some sort of handball even. Bit of confusion there, but nothing was given on the field. They have cleared the ball now. Could there be some late drama? Is there a check ongoing? I don't actually know. Forest have the ball anyway. We've played over the 2 minutes, so I think they're still having a look at this VAR. Willy Bolly with the clearance. Brentford win the ball back though. Well, the check is complete, and that ends the first half. I think that's what Paul Tierney was waiting for that confirmation from VAR that there was no penalty to be given there. Oh well. You know, there's not much you can do about that one. Just seen the replay of it. There's a slight touch on the hand of Willy Bolly, but there's not enough in there to give a handball. Good decision by VAR for a first. Half time then at the City Ground after 47.5 minutes of play. Neither team could find the breakthrough. Half time, Nottingham Forest 0, Brentford 0. Welcome back to Premier League Live here on LFS this afternoon. Only one Premier League game here this afternoon at half time at the City Ground. It is Nottingham Forest 0, Brentford 0. No breakthrough there. We had 8 games yesterday in the Premier League, and let's have a quick chat about those while the half time is going on. Before we do that, actually, let's just update you on some scores from around the grounds this afternoon. Manchester United came back from 1-0 down to beat Aston Villa 2-1 in the WSL. It's still Everton 1, Brighton 2 in the 90th minute there, so time is running out for Everton to get that equalising goal. Arsenal and Liverpool is goalless at half-time in that one at the Emirates. And between Bristol City and Leicester, there's just been another goal, and it's an equaliser for Leicester City. Carrie Jones put Bristol City ahead, but an equaliser from Amy Palmer in the 47th minute of that first half put Leicester back level 1-1, and that has just gone half-time. There's a 3 o'clock kick-off in the WSL as well, as West Ham host Manchester City before the late kick-off as Chelsea host Tottenham in a London derby at 5:30. In La Liga, it's Almeria 3, Granada 3 in that 1 o'clock kick-off. In the Bundesliga, the early kick-off there at 2:30 is Darmstadt 1, Bremen 0. 22 minutes gone in that one. Half-time in Serie A, Udinese 1, Genoa 2. And in Liga, L'Oeuvre are 1-0 down against Lille at half-time. Nice and Brest are 0-0 at the break. And just into added time in the first half, Toulouse lead Metz by 2 goals to 0. Those are the half-time scores from around the grounds in Europe. Of course, there was an early kick-off in the Championship as well, as Blackburn looked like they were getting something out of that game against Leicester. Jamie Vardy got the second goal in the first half to put Leicester 2-1 up, and it was all Leicester in the second half. A penalty from Kelechi Iheanacho and a late finish from Kiernan Dewsbury Hall sealed the points for Leicester. A 4-1 victory as Leicester stay top of the Championship table. 24 points out of a possible 27 this season. That's 8 wins out of 9. A fantastic start to the season for Enzo Maresca's side, who were beaten, of course, at Anfield in the League Cup earlier this week. Right then, let's talk about the Premier League scorelines this weekend then. Aston Villa 6, Brighton 1 yesterday. That was a cracking start to the Premier League weekend, of course. A massive result for Unai Emery's Aston Villa. These two sides have been both in Europe this season for the first time in a long while. Of course, Brighton in Europe for the first time in their history as well, but comfortably beaten by Aston Villa. They were really poor on the day, Brighton. I mean, we look at the first half, and 3 goals in the space of the likes of 12 minutes is something that's so unlike Brighton, to give so many chances away in a game of football. And just credit to Villa, because they were so dominant, so much better, and Brighton had more of the ball, but Villa knew, and Brighton probably knew that as well coming into the game, Villa on the break are one of the most ruthless sides in the Premier League. You give them counter-attacking chances and they will cut you down, and they did on so many occasions yesterday. Some beautiful finishes. One of the finishes of the day, I have to say, was Jacob Ramsey. A lovely goal from him to make it 5-1, 5 minutes from time, but that was probably one of the best goals of the afternoon. Ollie Watkins ended up with a hat-trick in the end, got the match ball. Ollie Watkins, I think it's the second hat-trick with Aston Villa, which is credit to him. A really good day for them. Aston Villa 6-1 winners, which, by the way, moves them up into the top 5 above Brighton in the Premier League table, with 5 wins and 2 defeats. Both of those teams from their opening 7 games, but Villa, of course, ahead on goal difference. Another big win, and for a team on the road this time, was Arsenal's 4-0 win away at Bournemouth. It was a pretty even game, to say the least, in terms of possession. 58% for Arsenal, but they had many more chances. Bournemouth had just 1 shot on target in the game. Arsenal, on the other hand, had 8 shots on target. Their XG on the day, Arsenal, was 3.43, which surely they deserve the 4 goals. 4 goal scorers on the day. 4 different goal scorers, by the way, for Arsenal. Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard from the penalty spot, Kai Havertz from the penalty spot, and Ben White all scoring on the day to make it 4-0 to Arsenal. And a pretty perfect day for Arsenal, let's be real. The only team that probably let them down was Tottenham, with Man City, Liverpool both losing earlier in the afternoon. Arsenal and Tottenham both took advantage of that. Arsenal up into 3rd in the league, just a point behind Manchester City, and level on points with Tottenham as well there. Some other scorelines: Everton beaten again at home. That's the 4th straight defeat at home for Everton this season. They've only scored 1 goal, and that was that 1 goal yesterday. It was a pretty poor goal. They couldn't miss the chance even if they tried at Everton, so it was a goal probably based on pure necessity to score rather than proper creation of chances. They've probably really poor this season. Everton lose to Luton. Luton are one of the most dreadful sides in the league this season. Their first ever Premier League campaign, and that win away at Everton yesterday was Luton's first ever Premier League win in their history. What a place to do it at, the historic Goodison Park for Luton. And that moves Luton for the very first time since before the first game was played. They move out of the bottom three, Luton, with of course Bournemouth, Burnley and Sheffield United all losing. It means Luton sit in 17th in the league. Defeat for Manchester United. Again, their first defeat at home this campaign, but their fourth this season. Awful from Manchester United. Again, Roy Hodgson keeps his very good record going to Old Trafford. I think he's unbeaten in his last 5 games. Watford manager against early this early in the campaign, but Manchester United need to get a grip of themselves, really. Awful start to the season. Wins for Newcastle and West Ham, and a big win for Wolves as well against the champions, the first team to take points off Manchester City this season. Their first defeat of the season, Manchester City. Wolves, listen to this, they scored 2 goals but only had 1 shot on target. That's the definition of a smash and grab if I've ever heard one. Man City had everything in every other area. They just couldn't put the ball in the net to finish Wolves off, and that's what gave Wolves the opportunity to go 2-1 up and win the game. Incredible from Wolves and Gary O'Neill, who's done a very good job there at Wolves, who were pipped for easily going down, but 7 points from their first 7 is not a bad display. And then just before we actually go back for the second half at the City Ground, we'll be going there in a moment, we'll talk about the late game. Tottenham against Liverpool. One of the worst refereeing displays I've ever seen in a Premier League game. Awful from Simon Hooper on the day. Couldn't make a decision to save his life. Everything he got wrong. He couldn't make a good decision at all. The Curtis Jones red card, never a red card. We've seen it previous weeks. I mean, it's quite similar to the other red card that Liverpool were given early in the season, the Alexis McAllister one that was eventually overturned. There's not much really in it. He goes over the ball, Curtis Jones. There's no intention in it whatsoever to take the man out. He's not out of control. He's not lost the ball. He's still pretty much under control. And then the disallowed goal. I've never seen a more horrendous set of decision making from Premier League officials. The fact that the VAR thought that the referee had given the goal on field and he was just checking to make sure that it was onside, but actually they disallowed the goal on field and he should have been checking to say, look referee, it's onside, give that goal. But terrible communication skills there from the officials. Spurs go 1-0 up, then 10-man Liverpool get back level with Cody Gakpo, a lovely goal before half time, and then poor from Diogo Jota. I mean, the first yellow card is never a yellow card. He doesn't even touch the Spurs player to get that first yellow card, but no excuses for the second one. Shouldn't be making a challenge like that when you're down, or when you're on a yellow card and your team's already down to 10. You shouldn't be making challenges like that. And then the heartbreak at the end for Liverpool, the 96th minute own goal from Joel Matip to give Spurs the 3 points. They will be happy, of course. They'll be pretty lucky, pretty fortunate actually, because they looked like they were going to draw against nine men. Alisson made a few good saves in that second half, but it was not to be for Liverpool on the day. Everything went wrong for Liverpool, it seemed, on the day yesterday. 9 men. When you're down to 9 men, you're certainly not having a very good day, are you? And that wrapped up the action of yesterday. Half time at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest 0, Brentford 0. We'll be coming for the second half in just a moment. Welcome back to the live audio commentary of Nottingham Forest against Brentford on Premier League Live here on LFS this Sunday, the 1st of October 2023. And we're in game 9 of the Premier League weekend of 10. We've one more game to come for you after this one as Fulham host Chelsea in a West London derby. That's tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on LFS. Before that, we've a triple header of NFL action as well for you this evening as the Miami Dolphins head to the Buffalo Bills. That's at 6 o'clock alongside 8 other games kicking off at 6 o'clock this evening. We then go to a divisional clash between the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers before we wrap it up with the Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, heading to the New York Jets. And that's all tonight. You can watch it all live here on LFS from 6 o'clock the whole way through this evening. We're underway in the game between West Ham and Man City in the WSL. That game kicks off at 3 o'clock. It's just underway around 2 minutes. Still half time between Arsenal, Liverpool and Bristol City, Leicester. And that game between Everton and Brighton has just finished. It has ended Everton 1, Brighton 2. Right. No changes at the break then at the City Ground. The two teams back out as they were in the second half, which has just got underway after Paul Tierney's whistle. Who can break the deadlock? If either can break the deadlock here in this second half. Forest relied so much upon their home form to keep them in the division last season. They are unbeaten at home this campaign in their first 2 games. A win and a draw in their first 2 at home. Brentford, on the other hand, 1 win and 1 defeat away from home this campaign. They'll be hoping to pick up some more points this afternoon. Niakate to win this, to take this long throw for Forest then. The first opportunity to go forward. Long throw into the box. Easily cleared away by Brentford. Niakate picks it up again. Aurier, the last man, has to go back to Turner. Oh, Turner, the poor clearance, and Norgard was nearly getting in there to try and get Brentford forward, but Forest get away with one, luckily, from their point of view. Matt Turner was under a lot of pressure and luckily got away with it. Brentford will have the ball back, though. And Matt Turner, of course, joined here from Arsenal, of course. When Arsenal made the signing, they have a bit of goalkeeping drama recently with David Raya and Aaron Ramsdale battling for that number 1 position. Mikel Arteta can't make his mind up as to who he wants to be as number 1 at the moment. And definitely not Matt Turner anyway. He's not at the football club no more. Matt Turner's here at Forest and has done a pretty decent job so far here. Matt Turner, here he is on the ball. More pressure on him from Vissa, but he gets the ball out. Niakate wins the first header. Janelt tries to recover and does win the ball back. Hickey. Back to Ethan Pinnock. We need to see more of attacking display from both teams in the second half. Both struggled to get clear shots. Brentford had the only shot on target in that first half. I can't actually remember who had that shot on target, but nevertheless, they had the one. And Forest, with all that dominance they had early on in the game, they just couldn't find that bit of attacking threat that would cause Brentford proper issues. That's lovely from Murillo. Gets away from Christoph Ayer. Lovely ball. Finds Dominguez. Tries to feed it behind, but well covered by Nathan Collins, and Ayer tries to clear his lines. Hudson-Odoi tried to keep it in, but that will be a throw-in. That was really good for Murillo, who looked, of course, towards the end of the first half to be struggling. Looks to be okay now. Lovely flick of the ball through 2 Brentford players to find Dominguez. That's one thing I've spotted from Forest all afternoon. They've been much more comfortable on the ball. Their passing, their composure when they're under pressure has been so much better than we've seen in recent weeks towards the start of the season. That's credit to Steve Cooper, of course, and that coaching, that you can kind of tell the players they need to be a bit calmer, they need to be confident in what they're doing, and that's exactly what they've been early on in this game so far, and it's worked out in their favour at the moment, but need to be better in attack. That's what we'll look to improve on this second half. Forest. Dominguez with a challenge. Couldn't keep it, was Alanga. Now here's Keane Lewis Potter for Brentford. Norgard. Has to go backwards to Pinnock. I think we've a goal in the WSL. We'll get there in a second as Brentford have the ball here. Pinnock. And the second half has just got underway at the Emirates and we already have a goal. Brentford coming forward there. That one run out of play for a throw-in. It is Liverpool that have taken the lead against Arsenal. Miri Taylor with the opening goal, and Arsenal behind at home on the opening day of the WSL. The first real chance of the first half of the second half, and Liverpool take the lead. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1 in the WSL. Here's Ethan Pinnock for Brentford. Now Nathan Collins. Ayer. Out to Mbermo. Covered over by Niakate, but gets the ball to Norgard. Now Pinnock. Pinnock down the left-hand side. Here's Lewis Potter. Lifts the ball in, does Keane Lewis Potter. Finds Jensen at the other end of the pitch. The other side of the pitch. Lovely ball by Jensen. Ayer trying to cut it across. Good block in there by Forest, who get it cleared. Awonyi trying to get the hold up. That's another thing. They've struggled to get Taiwo Awonyi into the game, Forest. He's been well covered over by the Brentford centre-backs. Keane Lewis Potter with the delivery. Cleared away by Bolly. Kept alive by Janelt. Now Keane Lewis Potter again. Norgard. Lewis Potter. Janelt. Janelt trying to break down the left. Keane Lewis Potter wins it back. Now Norgard, lovely triangle, nice link up. Here's Keane Lewis Potter trying to bamboozle the right back there, Serge Aurier, but his centre-back partner has him covered. And then Awonyi trying to gather the ball, but goes out of his grasp. And the away crowd starting to grow in confidence with their team is also growing in confidence. City ground a bit flat at the moment in terms of atmosphere from the home fans. Side need to get back on the ball and show them a bit more initiative in this second half so far. So far they've struggled a bit, Forest. Ball down the line from Brentford. And Murillo will be under no pressure. Gets it back to his keeper. Turner, who's under a lot of pressure. And again he's caught out, but luckily it's cleared off the line by Willy Bolly. Matt Turner again caught out. Too casual on the ball. It's twice this half where Brentford have got a man chasing the goalkeeper and have won the ball back. Luckily that time for Turner. Couldn't get a strike on it. Jensen. Brentford pushing again. Janelt. And Burmo back to Janelt. Janelt with a strike. Takes a deflection. Goes wide. And Bolly there, the saviour again for Forest. See this again. It's Murillo. Just gives it straight back to Matt Turner. He's readying up to take the strike, and it's Johan Vissa. Burst of pace, just nicks it away from Matt Turner. And luckily for the Forest keeper, Willy Bolly is running back towards his own goal and clears it off around about 3 yards from the goal line. But huge opportunity for Brentford. They have a corner, whipped in all the way through. Keane Lewis Potter will pick it up. Edge of the box, Keane Lewis Potter takes this strike high and wide from him. That goes behind for a goal kick to Forest. Another goal in the game in the WSL between Bristol City and Leicester City. Leicester took levelled it just before half time, and they have turned it all around. They now lead 2-1. Shannon O'Brien with the goal to put Leicester City 2-1 to the goods. Oh. We've spotted another Premier League manager here today, Sean Dyche, the Everton manager in attendance. Of course, his side beaten yesterday at home. He's made the trip to Nottingham from Liverpool and is in attendance this afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if Everton are one of the next opponents for either of these two. That's probably why he's here. Although, you can still come and enjoy a good game of football. Nathan Collins, under pressure himself here. Has to clear it long. And Burmo straight out of play. Better from Forest. Beating Brentford at their own game at the moment there. Brentford putting pressure on the Forest keeper. And now Forest put pressure on the Brentford defenders. Actually, he is just here to watch a game of football, is Sean Dyche, because Everton don't play either of these teams for a good few weeks. Throw in then. Oh, well, of course, Brentford were beaten by Everton last weekend. Here's Niakate with a long throw. Once again, headed clear by Brentford. Brought down by Aurier, who tries to fizz it forward. Niakate chests it down on the left flank. Cuts it back to Callum Hudson-Odoi, who delivers into the box and just over the head of Taiwo Awoniyi there. Another good move from Forest. Another good delivery by Callum Hudson-Odoi. Lovely right-footed delivery into the box. Just too high for Taiwo Awoniyi. There could have been actually a touch from a Brentford player that looked like Nathan Collins got the slightest of touches on it. Goal kick's been given, but Forest might have had a claim there if they'd claimed for a corner. Murillo intercepting. Oh, gives it away though, and Burmo tries to feed through Vissa. Caught under his feet, did Vissa, and Niakate did catch him in the process, so that will be a Brentford free kick. And now Matthias Jensen is arguing, should that be a second yellow? He was booked, of course, Moussa Niakate in the first half. Doesn't look like Paul Tierney's going to go to his pocket, but looks like a genuine attempt for the ball there from Niakate. He did make the challenge on the first one. Oh, it's a late one. Oh, they're going to check this VAR. He makes a genuine challenge for it the first two times, but the third time he tries to go for the ball, Niakate, it's straight studs on the Achilles of Johan Vissa. It could be actually more than a second yellow. It could be a straight red, possibly, if VAR still checking it. I'm confused as to what's just happened. Has he been red carded? Well, VAR were checking something. We'll see this again. We'll just see the challenge from behind. The first and second challenges are real genuine attempts for the ball. In the third one, he completely misses the ball, and the left Achilles of Johan Vissa is completely attacked. He has been booked again. He's off. He is. He's off. The referee has sent Moussa Niakate off. So Forest down to 10. Second yellow card for Moussa Niakate. And Forest have a job to do here with one less player on the pitch. Well, there you go. He knew he was on a yellow card, and he knew making challenges like that could see him possibly get a second yellow, and he has been sent down the tunnel. Moussa Niakate. Brentford have a free kick then. Jensen and Burmo standing over it. See what they can do from this position. Could they make it go from bad to worse? Jensen with the delivery, headed on! And it's headed in! Christian Norgard. Just after Forest go down to 10, Brentford add insult to injury and put themselves 1-0 up against 10-man Nottingham Forest. It's a good delivery by Matthias Jensen. Is there an offside in there? Looks really tight. It's a lovely header straight onto the head of Christian Norgard, who heads it past Matt Turner into the far left corner. Lovely goal by Brentford. VAR will of course make sure that everything is okay from an offside point of view, because they are checking it. So we will wait and see, because it looks like a really, really tough call. It's a tight one. Just seeing the replay, it looks like, is it Willie Bolly's the last man there for Forest? And Christian Norgard. There is definitely a Forest player or a Brentford player offside, but it doesn't look like it's Norgard. We'll see if Norgard is actually on an offside position. We will wait and see. Well, the question is, where do they actually draw the lines, VAR? Because it's a clutch of bodies in there, and it's so hard to distinguish one from the other. What is the decision going to be? Well, they're going to draw the lines now, so we will have a few moments, moment or two of waiting before we get the final decision. But on the field, it was given. We will see what VAR will do here. They, of course, disallowed a goal in the first half that Forest had taken the lead through Taiwo Awonyi. He was offside. That was actually disallowed on the field as well and rectified by VAR, or ratified, sorry, by VAR. They now have a decision to make here, VAR. Will they give this goal? They're drawing the lines, and we'll wait to see the outcome of this VAR check. Paul Tierney, the referee, is patiently waiting, and the decision is onside. So there was a Brentford player offside, but Christian Norgard, crucially, was in an onside position. So the goal will stand, which will get a cheer from the visiting crowd here at the City Ground. Brentford, through Christian Norgard, their captain, have the lead at the City Ground. A much needed lead, by the way. And Forest are going to make a double change here. They're not happy. Of course, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Anthony Alanga are making way. And they're going to make two changes then for us. So Morgan Gibbs-White and looks like Harry Toffolo, I think, has also come on. So Alanga off and Hudson-Odoi off. And they're replaced by Morgan Gibbs-White and Harry Toffolo. So 10-man Forest now have a mountain to climb. 1 goal down and a man down as well, against a buoyed Brentford side who love to control the ball and keep a hold of it. Jensen, Ayer. One thing for Forest they need to do now is make sure that it doesn't get worse instantly and that they don't concede too many chances in the next 5-10 minutes. They need to just hold Brentford off and stifle them for a bit. And that's a free kick given to Taiwo Awonyi on the halfway line. A push on him. And Steve Cooper's having a word with the fourth official there, Craig Paulson. I think he's asking for a booking. There is a Brentford player on a yellow card as well, Aaron Hickey. Maybe that's what he was asking for. Mangala completely clotheslined there, it seems, by the Brentford player. The Brentford player's actually come off the worst of the two players, and he will stop the play here, Paul Tierney. City Ground has rising boos. I'm trying to see who it is. If the camera angle will actually help me out. Looks like Vitaly Janelt, is it? And he's getting a bit of treatment now. There's no need for to stop the game if it's not a head injury. Just see this again. Yeah, Mangala in possession, and then Vitaly Janelt tries to win the ball and completely takes Mangala out, but he comes off the worst of the two players, and he is now down and is receiving treatment at the moment. Vitaly Janelt. It's giving me time to tell you, don't forget a triple header of NFL action coming up tonight. 6 o'clock. We'll have all 9 games kicking off at 6 o'clock this evening, including our key game, Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. We'll keep you up to date with all the scores from around the stadiums in the NFL at 6 o'clock tonight on Goal Zone, which debuts tonight at 6. Including, actually, there's NFL action earlier in the afternoon. Earlier this afternoon, 2 o'clock. 2:30 game between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Atlanta Falcons, and that's it at Wembley Stadium, one of the London games at the moment in the second quarter. In that one, it is Jacksonville Jaguars 10, Atlanta Falcons 0 at the moment. Right, back into the game. Janelt is up and okay, and the game is back underway. Here's Gibbs-White trying to spin away. Felt he was brought down there. Referee said no. Aurier trying to win it back. Brentford have the ball. That's lovely from Jensen. Now Norgard. Jensen again. That's a poor ball. Gives it away. Dominguez. Ball out from the back from Murillo. Now Gibbs-White. He's got the energy, got the pace, got the skill to help Forrest out. Strange to the fact that he didn't start this game. I thought when I read the first team news that he wasn't involved. Was on the bench from the start of this game. I was surprised at that. How impactful he is on this Forest side in terms of attacking display. Here's Willie Bolly for Forest. They're yet to have a shot in the second half, Nottingham Forest. And they've been completely dominated in terms of the ball. 70% of the ball for Brentford. 30% for Forest, of course. That's a nice takedown by Awonyi. Now finds Sangare. Gibbs-White. Out wide to Harry Toffolo. Toffolo with a cross. Flicked on! And in! What a goal! It's Dominguez for Nottingham Forest. Diving header over the top of Mark Flecken. And 10-man Nottingham Forest are back level. Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 1. And from absolutely nowhere, their first shot of the half. And Nicholas Dominguez, heads it past Mark Flecken. It's Harry Toffolo with a deft cross. Lovely cross into the box. And Dominguez with a diving header. Mark Flecken tries to scramble for it. It's looping over him into the Brentford net. And that has really got the crowd going here. Harry Toffolo, the substitute, onto the head of Nicholas Dominguez. And that looping header is too much for Mark Flecken to try and keep out of the net. And Nottingham Forest, with one less player on the pitch, are back on level terms in terms of the scoreline. Forest 1, Brentford 1. It's his home debut, Nicholas Dominguez. And what a way to mark an impact on your home debut with a lovely, lovely goal to put Forest back level. That really is game on now. 25 minutes to go. And the game is back at Old Square. Back to square one, you could say, in this one. My goodness me, what a dramatic few moments we've had. Brentford taking the lead, a second yellow card, and another goal for Forest. There's always excitement when you come to the City Ground. Always drama. Murillo. Gibbs-White. Now Mangala. Bolly to Mangala. Better from Forest. Sangare. Playing in the spaces now. Gibbs-White. Driving at the Brentford defence. Trying to flick it wide, but Brentford have it covered. And they win the ball back there cleanly. Brentford off the Forest players. And that's fantastic from Nicholas Dominguez. Takes the challenge and fires it straight out of play for a Brentford throw, which G's up the crowd here, the home crowd here inside the City grounds. Collins. Ayer. Forest came up against 10 men last week, of course, against Manchester City. Couldn't make it count. They're down to 10 men themselves and they've made it count so far. Here's Aaron Hickey up against Willie Bolly, and Bolly makes the late challenge, and that'll be a Brentford throw-in, although the Forest players, or the Forest fans, said it was out of play before Willie Bolly touched it and wanted to throw in themselves, but the decision's been given Brentford's way, and they're going to make a double change themselves here, Brentford. At the moment, a bit of fresh legs, trying to help them across the line here. And Matthias Jensen to take this throw in for Brentford on the left-hand side. Long throw from Jensen. Flicked on by Ayer, and Turner is caught out there, but he will get the free kick. Challenge on him. He was impeded there, according to the official. See that again. It's a bit messy there from Matt Turner. It's not the most convincing. I don't really see much in that. He's got lucky there, Turner, because Norgaard's just making a jump for the ball, and Turner just kind of runs into the back of him. I don't think that is a foul, but it has been given anyway. So free kick Forest. And they're going to make those double substitutions then, are Brentford. The first of which will see the See Matthias Jensen leaving the pitch alongside Aaron Hickey. So Hickey and Jensen off. And replacing them is Frank Onyeka and Saman Godos. So Onyeka and Godos on, replacing Hickey and Jensen. So double substitution there from Brentford's point of view. Yellow cards also been given out to Ibrahim Sangare of Forest for whatever reason there. There's another free kick given and another yellow card. Or yellow card might be coming here. Looks to be in a bit of pain, the Forest player. We'll see this again. See the challenge. We're on a replay. Just Awonyi. It's a late challenge on Awonyi from is it Saman Godos? It's just on the pitch. It is. Godos makes a late challenge. The poor one on Awonyi, but just a free kick's been given to Forest. Godos straight into the action then. Just off the bench. Serge Aurier to take this free kick then for Forest, who've probably come into their own in the last 5-10 minutes. Cross from Aurier. It's easily cleared. And now Onyeka trying to go on the break for Brentford, but Gibbs-White tries to have him all the way. Wins it back, but not fairly, says the referee, and that's a free kick to Brentford inside their own half. I'll update you on some WSL action. It's still Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1. Around 20 minutes to go in that one. Leicester have a 3-1 lead against Bristol City now. In that one, also around 20 minutes to go. And West Ham 0, Manchester City 0 after 27 minutes in that one. At the moment. Right, Brentford in possession. 20 minutes plus additional time to go at the City ground. And it's all level. 1-1. Between Nottingham Forest and Brentford. Forest, of course, their last home game here. And it was against Burnley, in which they drew 1-1. And they were against 10 men on that day and couldn't make it count. They were actually been against 10 men on the last 2 occasions, of course, as I mentioned. That City game as well, they were against 10 men Forest. It's now for them to deal with. How they will deal with it with the shoe is on the other foot. It's good defending by Forest at the back there. Aurier. And then that one deflecting off a Brentford player and out for a goal kick to Forest. Trying to pin them in were Brentford there, but Forest were calm and composed, and both keepers should be very disappointed with the goals they've conceded, because they're very savable chances for both. The first one, Matt Turner should get a touch to. He did get a touch to it, but should do a lot better with that touch to push it wide from Christian Norgard. And then the second one, Mark Flecken, just too far off his line. Simple goalkeeping. Goalkeeping 101. Never step too far off your line, no matter how confident you are. And he just loops over him and into his own net. But both keepers will be disappointed. They very much could have had a clean sheet. Gibbs-White tries to thread it through. Oh, just cut out there. Here's Dominguez to pick up the ball again for Forest here. On the right hand side, Sangare. Ibrahim Sangare. Out to the right hand side is Dominguez. Sangare. Now Aurier back in field to Sangare again. Looping around the box. Toffolo was working his way in there. Cleared away by Brentford. Murillo picks it up for Forest, and Bolly will go back to Matt Turner. Better from Forest. Here's Willy Bolly. Awonyi. Beating off the ball again. Lovely ball in behind, and Burmo trying to come for it, and that's good. Goalkeeping for Matt Turner. Good sweeper keeping. Came out and cleared the lines for a throw-in. They've taken it quickly, Brentford. Godos. Cuts it back for Ayer. Ayer goes wide to Mbermo. Now back to Ayer, who drives into the box. Ayer gets back past Mangala, and that will be a free kick for the push on Orel Mangala by Christopher Ayer. So free kick goes the way of Forest. So it is 17 minutes to go, and Brentford are eyeing up some more changes. It looks like Neil Maupay is ready to come on in a few moments. Of course, both teams have only made 2 substitutes apiece. And it looks like Forest are eyeing up another change as well in a few moments. Long ball from the back for Forest. That's a late one there from Willy Bolly on Johan Visse, so that'll be a free kick to Brentford. Another break in play then. Free kick, Brentford just taken short. Norgard straight to Collins. Now here's Ethan Pinnock. Back to Vitaly Janelt. Now Ayer. Out wide to Godos, who has to go back. Of course, I mentioned very early in the game that there was late drama here in this fixture last season to get a 2-2 draw out of this one. A late goal, a late own goal from Onyeka on that occasion, or Zanka, sorry, to give Forest the equalising goal on that fixture last season. Right, third substitution from Brentford. It will be Keane Lewis Potter that will make way, and he will be replaced by Neil Maupay. So Maupay on and Lewis Potter off. So a change up front for Brentford as they try and push for a winner. And Forest are not going to make their substitution just yet. I thought they were going to make that in that one there. Brentford have a long throw that they're readying to take on this left-hand side. Pinnock with a long throw in. Headed away at the first man from Forest to... Again, they're getting scrambled, getting in each other's way to try and clear it. Brentford have it back. Trying to drive into the box. Got us with a cross. Norgard wasn't far away, and then the follow-up for Neil Maupay is blocked by Toffolo. They're going to get the corner here, Brentford. On the right-hand side. Better from Brentford. We have a corner then on the right flank. On the right-hand side to take Brentford. Talked about their threat from set pieces. They've already scored one from a set piece this afternoon. Delivery in, whipped in, half cleared away. Falls to the edge of the box, and the strike from distance. From, I think that's Frank Onyeka, it is, who takes the strike from distance, and that will go well over the bar for a goal kick. And Forest are going to make that substitution now then, and it will be Ibrahim Sangare that will make way. He's been a very, very heavily involved player this afternoon. All three Forest midfielders, Sangare, Mangala and Dominguez, have been very, very good in the middle, but it's Ibrahim Sangare that has to make way. Of course, he's on a yellow card, so he's coming off, and he will be replaced by Cheick Kouyaté, former Crystal Palace player, of course, Kouyaté. And he is coming on to replace Ibrahim Sangare for Nottingham Forest. I'm going to take this goal kick then. Is Matt Turner. As we're into the last 13 minutes of this game. Still 1-1. Forest down to 10, of course. Second yellow card from Moussa Niakate. Around about 20 minutes ago now, I would say. That was that red card. Update from the WSL, all the same. Nothing's changed. Liverpool still leading Arsenal 1-0. Leicester 3-1 up against Bristol City. And Man City, West Ham is goalless. Here's Neil Maupay for Brentford. Mbeumo. Quick feet from Mbeumo. Got past Dominguez, but couldn't get past Toffolo, and that was cleared out for a throw-in. Dominguez has stayed down here. Not happy there. He's feeling something. It looks like his... might get a bit of cramp. Of course, Dominguez not used to the intensity of this league. Nicolas Dominguez signed on deadline day, actually, did Dominguez. Remember that late scramble for players from Nottingham Forest. £13 million signing Nicolas Dominguez. Came from Vélez Sarsfield. He was all known at Bologna a few seasons ago, but was at Vélez Sarsfield after that, and joined Nottingham Forest for £13 million on deadline day. He's getting the treatment now, is Nicholas Dominguez. This might add a bit more onto the game at the end of it. Updates from around Europe. It did end 3-3 between Almeria and Granada in that one in La Liga. It's Alves and Osasuna who's kicked off. Still 0-0 there. Darmstadt 3-0 to the good against Werder Bremen in the Bundesliga. And Udinese won Genoa 2 with around about 15 minutes or so to go in that one. And of course, as I mentioned a lot earlier on in the game, do not forget triple header of NFL action. Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. That's tonight at 6 o'clock alongside 8 other games from the NFL on Goal Zone tonight from 6 o'clock. That's also followed up by the Cardinals at the 49ers before the Chiefs go to the New York Jets at a very late hour of 1:15 a.m. Forest are going to make another substitution, and it will be a change up front indeed. So they're actually going to make another double change. Actually, Forest. I thought that was strange. Chris Wood is coming on, and he will be replacing Taiwo Awoniyi, I believe. And then the second substitution for Nottingham Forest is Divock Origi is also coming on, and he will replace Nicholas Dominguez. So Dominguez and Awoniyi off, being replaced by two forwards, Chris Wood and Divock Origi. And Divock Origi, as I mentioned previously, I mentioned in the Burnley game I done commentary on, he's known for a few late goals, a few dramatic endings to games as Divock Origi. I'll be hoping he can do that for another set of Reds here at the City Ground this afternoon. Be late drama, indeed. Ethan Pinnock to take this long throw in for Brentford. Last 10 minutes of the game, 1-1. Long throw brought in, and the deflection comes off a Nottingham Forest player last. That'll be a corner, but the Forest fans and the players thought it was a goal kick. But corner's been given. Couldn't actually see myself. There's a few bodies in there, so I can understand why the officials erred on the side of caution. Yanot with a delivery, whipped in. Half cleared, still bouncing around. Brought down. Mopay is off. There's an offside in there. Free kick Forest. So they escape once again to Nottingham Forest. Strong back line helping them out in defensive areas. We'll see how Brentford deal with this. Of course, with a lot more attackers on the pitch now for Forest. And they've changed their whole front three as well this afternoon. Awoniyi, Hudson-Odoi and Alanga all made way this afternoon. For the likes of Gibbs White, Origi and Chris Wood. Shows the attacking prowess they have, but so far they've only had just the one shot on target, and that was that Nicholas Dominguez goal. In the whole game, they've had one shot on target, Forest. But we've seen yesterday, Wolves beat Manchester City, having only one shot on target. Obviously that own goal from Ruben Dias gave them that kind of freaky-like stat. But Forest can do a smash and grab themselves. Although Brentford have the man advantage, have the probably attacking advantage as they've seen. Here's good breaking up of the play from Kouyaté, and does win Forest a throw in. It's better. 7.5 minutes plus additional time to go. Forest 1, Brentford 1, Forest down to 10. Just short of 20 minutes since we've last seen any real proper goalmouth action. The best of it was that Nicholas Dominguez goal to put Forest back level. I wouldn't say a point would be disappointment for Forest, let's get real, considering they are down to 10, but they would take a point, I would say. But Brentford will be probably pushing for 3, and that's the last thing Forest need, is to lose. Of course, their home form, as I mentioned, was key to their survival last season. They want to step up from that. Already had an away win this season, Nottingham Forest, away at Chelsea. They'll be hoping to get another win on the board from their first 2. and get their third win of the season here this afternoon, but it would take quite a bit when they're down to 10 here against the strong Brentford side. Here's Ayer. Well cut out. And Bomo picks up the loose ball, then given away to Morgan Gibbs-White is Ayer. Lovely burst of pace from Gibbs-White. Kouyaté tries to keep it. They got caught out there. Forest. Now here's Maupay. Maupay, break of the ball, cleared away by Murillo. And that's bouncing around inside the Forest half. Can't get the bodies back eventually. Ball switched across, and Bomo. Can he open up the space? And Bomo goes down the right hand side, cuts it across, and the deflection off Harry Toffolo takes it wide for the corner. Tried to go for the near post finish, did. For the fourth goal for Leicester City away at Bristol City in the opening day of the Women's Super League, the WSL. 4-1 to Leicester away at Bristol City. Still the same scorelines elsewhere. Corner whipped in, flicked onto the front post, and no one there to follow it in. And Mangala will just hold it up here against Maupay on that far right hand side, right at the back, and takes a deflection off Maupay. Forest throw in. Better from Forest, to be honest. And Brentford are going to make another substitution. Thomas Frank's got the tactics board out. The magnetic tactics board, and he's freely showing it off. There. Love that. Absolutely love that. And it's going to be another change. They're going to bring a player on in a moment. I couldn't see who it was, but I'm going to make another substitution in a moment. The next break of play, I would say. Brentford, so far, we're still in play. Here's Johan Vissa. Gets the break of the ball. Here's Mbeumo. Gets the ball off on Onyeka. And Mbeumo out to the left. Janelt to Pinnock. Right-footed delivery in. Cleared away by Aurier, who gets a good distance on that clearance. Picked up by Mark Flecken, as Brentford will build again and keep that pressure on the Forest defenders, of which there are 4 at the moment. They're playing a kind of a 4-3-2 at the moment, it seems. Forest. 7 bodies in a defensive position. Onyeka. Back to Maupay. Norgard. Janelt. Gets it to Maupay and just about keep possession. Here's Ayer. Trying to get a burst of pace, and Chris Wood tries to break it up but gets it out to Mbeumo. Does Ayer. Now Onyeka. Out wide to Mbeumo again. Mbeumo takes the strike, bit of a deflection, and it's followed up, and the strike from Neil Maupay is a bit lackluster, really. No real power behind it. And Mbeumo puts the ball into the box. It's half cleared by Forest, and then the bouncing ball finds its way to Neil Maupay. That's a poor shot from Maupay, straight into the hands of Matt Turner, who can clear his lines and get the distance on it. On that clearance, it's a good clearance. That's a break of the ball from Forest. The man's brought down there. That's a free kick. It's Morgan Gibbs-White that tried to break away. He lost his balance to Onyeka making the challenge, and Onyeka's penalised. Free kick and a yellow card for Frank Onyeka. It's a late one on Gibbs-White. Tries to recover the ball, does Onyeka, but Gibbs-White had the better of it and won the possession and won the free kick as well. 6th goal in that game between Bristol City and Leicester, and it's Bristol City. They've got a goal back, 4-2. A bit late for Bristol City if they want to come back, but they're going to have to move it quickly. Gibbs-White to take this free kick for Forest then. Right-footed, deep into the back post, headed back across, and just got away from them. And now Brentford trying to force a counter-attack. Here's Johan Vissa, and Mbeumo makes the run through. Here's Brian Mbeumo. What a challenge by Morgan Gibbs-White. Tracking him all the way back. And Brentford thought they'd had a clear chance of one-on-one with the keeper, but Morgan Gibbs-White Does it at both ends of the pitch. Fights ever so hard for Forest in attack, but gets back and does his defensive duties as well. And made an incredible challenge on Brian and Burmo to deny for Brentford the chance to take the lead. They do have a corner though. Brentford, and the crowd really got behind Morgan Gibbs-White there after that challenge. They now have a corner, Brentford, and they make that substitution I mentioned. They've got made that double substitution, it seems. And that's their final two substitutions. I'll get confirmation of that in a moment after this set piece. Right-footed delivery, whipped in. Was it Norgard that was there? And it was Nathan Collins actually that got ahead to it, but a goal kick's been given. He was the last man to touch the ball. That double change then for Brentford. Oliyigbe and Rujlev have replaced Janelt and Ayer. So Janelt and Ayer off, replaced by Rujlev and Oliyigbe. So free kick, goal kick for Forest to take. Last 30 seconds of the 90. We'll see how much additional time we will have. Will there be time for late drama? A late winner for either team. It's a good clearance by Murillo there, who was under pressure from Johan Vissa. Burmo. Back to Rujlev. Collins to Pinnock. 90 minutes has surpassed. How many minutes will they add on? And we will have, believe it or not, 13 minutes of additional time. I've never seen that many in a Premier League game, but we will have 13 additional minutes. So we're nowhere near the end of this game. It's almost a whole other quarter of a game. 13 additional minutes. Steve Cooper's clearly not happy with it. He's having a chat with Craig Pawson, who held up that board to show 13 added minutes. But considering a few VAR checks, the amount of substitutions we've had in this second half, it's pretty fair. But 13 minutes is not a bit excessive. It's quite a lot of time to be added on. Still time for a winner, definitely. Forest have a throw in. We've surpassed the first of those 13 minutes then. Brentford have been the more threatening team, of course, in the last 10 minutes, but Forest still hanging in there. You never know. All you have to do is hang in there and get one chance. You never know what can happen. Toffolo with a clearance. Boots it up the pitch. And that last touch off a Brentford player. Chris Wood applying the pressure. And the City Grinder roaring in voice at the moment. They have a throw in on the right hand side. Taken short this time. Kouyaté. Aurier. Gibbs-White with a heavy touch but keeps the possession. Aurier whips a ball in, and that one's straight at Mark Flecken, who can gather for Brentford. Still a long way to go in this one. Here's Onyeka. Back to Pinnock. Now Norgard. Out wide to Rujlev. Can he find a ball in? Whips a ball in. Half cleared by Bolly. Origi coming back. Hasn't been involved at all, Origi. And Brentford trying to force one through, but that's cleared away that time by Toffolo. Under a bit more pressure now, Forest in the defence. Have to hold firm. Forest forwards haven't got anywhere near the ball recently. Alexa Chris Wood or Divock Origi. Two substitutions. Cross from Pinnock, cleared away. Rujlev with a follow-up. Turner has to come for it and does so and catches. Does Matt Turner, the American international. So we have played 3 minutes of additional time and we still have another 10 to go. Still a long way to go if there's a winner in this one. We had late drama last season, the 96th minute I believe the late equaliser for Forest was. From that Zanka own goal, but there's still time for late drama here, and we will play 103 minutes. And Bomo tries to thread it through. It does find its way through. Onyeka. Mope bouncing around. Mope cuts it back to Ruzhlev. Ruzhlev with the delivery. Headed on and just over the bar from Brian and Burmo. Couldn't drag it down. Kind of hit at the top of his head and bounced over the bar. It was Neil Mope who kept it alive. Cut it back for Ruzhlev and right-footed delivery from Maz Ruzhlev. Just over the bar from Brian and Burmo. Another big chance gone a-begging for Brentford to try and finish it, but Forest holding firm at the moment. Matt Turner to take this goal kick then for Forest. How far can he get it? Can he get the forwards involved? Bouncing around, Origi does take it down. Takes a nice first touch, Origi, and he's blocked off that time. Well defended by Brentford, and Mark Flecken under pressure gives it wide to Ruzhlev, who has the space to find a nice pass, and does so indeed. He's got us wide to Pinnock. Now Oyigbe, can he find a way through? Right foot across from Oyigbe, and that's cleared away by Toffolo. Brandon Burmo was waiting, but Toffolo got there ahead of him. Burmo takes the throw in. Ruzhlev now back to Burmo. Tries to feed it on for Ruzhlev again, who made the outside of the boot run, or outside of the man run, the overlapping run. But it goes behind for a goal kick. So 5 minutes of the added time gone. Still have another 8 remaining. I'll probably feel like the longest 8 minutes of Steve Cooper's managerial career. His team much the better side for majority of the first half, but Brentford, once they find their footing, they got the better of it. We're the better team, but Forest still hanging in there. It's lovely from Chris Wood. Finds Origi. Origi on the edge. Origi. Can he find a ball in? Origi with the delivery. Wood heads it wide. Really, really good link up. I talked about Forest getting their forwards involved, and that was great link up between Origi and Chris Wood. Origi just took his time, find the delivery onto the head of Chris Wood, who just couldn't direct it towards goal. That's probably Forest's best chance of the half, really, after that Nicolas Dominguez chance. Probably their only other attacking up. They have the throw in on the right hand side inside their own half to Forest. Considering we're coming up to halfway through the added time, still Arsenal 0, Liverpool 1 in the WSL, Bristol City 2, Leicester City 4, and West Ham Man City is goalless at half time. Norgard with the header. Cleared away by Forest. Origi trying to latch onto the end of it. That one's cleared away, bouncing out to find Brian and Burmo, who's made the run, and Burmo trying to go for a cross, but far too deep that one. It's kept in. It is kept in by Oyigbe. Oyigbe takes a deflection. Oh, how that didn't go in. I think it was Mancala, was it? I actually didn't see, but somehow it didn't go in. Corner was given to Brentford. Brentford take that corner. Norgard with a strike from distance. Just over the bar from Christian Norgard. I just want to have to talk to you about this. The chance. It's Murillo. The cross from Mbeumo, everyone thought it's gone out of play. It was actually kept in. It bounced back into play. Oyigbe drives in from the left-hand side, takes the strike, it takes a deflection. Matt Turner makes the save. Murillo has to clear it off the line. It comes off the back of Matt Turner and ends up going out for the corner. But Forrest got really lucky, and then from the resulting corner, Norgard takes the strike from distance that ended up just over the bar for a goal kick. But Brentford coming ever so close to taking the lead, but so far Forest still clinging on to this 1-1 scoreline. Matt Turner with another goal kick clearance. Right footed out to the right hand side this time. First touch taken down, and Kouyaté tries to feed it down the line. It's out of play by a Brentford player, so Forest will get the throw in on the right hand side. 5 minutes of additional time to go. Forest 10-man Forest 1, Brentford 1. Both teams having chances in additional time to win it, but neither finding the net just yet. There's still a lot of time for a winner to be found. Both sides could probably go for it. And that's last touch off Kuyate. Brentford will get the throw in. Pinnock to take the throw in. Gibbs White to try and break it apart and wins the free kick. The push in the back of him from Frank Onyeka. He's already on a yellow card, Onyeka. He has to watch himself. Morgan Gibbs White knows what he's doing, jumping up for the ball. He's kind of slightly pushed there by Frank Onyeka. And we'll get the free kick there, Morgan Gibbs White. Fantastic there from Gibbs White to win that free kick. That's immensely important for Forest to keep the ball at this edge of the pitch. You never know. Seen a real cracker here for Forest. Callum Hudson-Odoi, a real cracker to score against Burnley. Can Morgan Gibbs White deliver a ball that will give Forest all 3 points? Gibbs White to take this free kick. A bit of pushing and shoving. The whistle's gone, so he's ready to take it. Gibbs White, he does step up, right-footed delivery in, flicked on and evaded all the players in there. It was flicked on by Willy Bolly at the front post. Lovely delivery. Willy Bolly got the header towards it. Kuyate was the closest to it at the back post, but completely evaded him. Another good chance for Forest, but didn't come off once again. And now there's Willy Bolly's just gone down, so we have played 100 minutes and we will have another 3 at least to go. There you go, 100 minutes. Full time in the game WSL between Bristol City and Leicester City. It's Bristol City 2, Leicester 4. It has finished there. And 9 minutes of additional time have been played at the Emirates. Of the 10 additional that have been added, Liverpool still leading Arsenal by that 1-0. But it has been all Arsenal since that Liverpool goal. They're pushing for that equaliser, but yet Liverpool's defence holding firm in the WSL. Liverpool 1, Arsenal 0. Big chance for Brentford. Good block. Forest clear their lines again. Last 2 minutes of the additional time. It's really now or never type of territory for these two teams to get a winner. Here's Mbeumo. Now Rushlev. Back to Mbeumo. Norgard. Firing bodies forward at Brentford. Rushlev with the delivery. Cleared away by Murillo that time. Who's really put in a very good performance as Murillo. Really, really good display defensively, considering it's his first start for Forest. Collins, Rushlev with the delivery. Kuyate couldn't hit it clear. Follow up has fallen to Mbeumo. Mbeumo now finds it to Mope. And the deflection takes it over the bar for the corner. Last ditch stuff from Forest. Willy Bolly putting his body on the line against Neal Mope. And deflecting the shot wide for the corner. Last minute of the 103. Visa. Mbeumo. Back to Onyeka. Across. Into the boxes. Rushlev. And that one's overhit. Goal kick Forest. That's really good defending by Nottingham Forest. Thomas Frank telling his side to hurry it up. They seem to be running out of time. The last 30 seconds, they're going to have to hope for a quick turnaround if they're going to try and force another chance. Forest themselves are probably hoping for another chance. Whether or not they get it, their side have shown real heart, desire and resilience from going down to 10 men to get back level and to really hold on in these last 40 minutes or so of this long second half. It looks like they will just see that over the line for a point. Although Mark Flecken's under pressure. Tries to get it out to Rushlev, does so. Is there one last chance for either team? That's a fantastic bit of defending, bit of challenging there. And the throw-in will be given to Brentford. Inside their own half. They need to get it forward quickly if they're going to have one more chance. We've played over the 103. It's really to the referee's discretion now. Is there enough time for a winner? Or a Yigby? Rushlev. Rushlev with the delivery. Folds to Mope. Can he escape with the ball? No, Forest pack it out and clear their lines. Collins. Referee looks at the watch. The whistle's not gone to the mouth yet. Here's Godos. Now Rushlev. All the bodies in the box for Brentford. Rushlev with delivery. And a fantastic bit of goalkeeping as Matt Turner comes and grasps it from the air. And that is enough for Forest to see it over the line. 10-man Nottingham Forest have done it. It looked like a real mountain for them to climb when they went down to 10 and went a goal down directly after that from a Christian Norgard header from a free kick. It looked like a real difficult kind of task for Nottingham Forest to get back level. But 6 minutes after the Christian Norgard goal, a fantastic bit of attacking display. Harry Toffolo's cross met the diving header of Nicholas Dominguez, whose header looped past Mark Flecken to give Forest the equalising goal. They held on after a very difficult and tough display that they've had to put on in those last 35 minutes or so for Forest, but it's all worked out for them. They got the point that they ever so desperately were hoping for late on, and Brentford couldn't push it to get the 3 points. Forest had a chance themselves to get 3 points, but neither could get it on the day. It's a point apiece. The points are shared at the City Ground as Nottingham Forest and Brentford. It ends 1-1. Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 1.